I don't watch as much auto racing as I used to, but what I do know from when I watched it is that there's a lot of quick cuts with cameras.
Yeah.
And in order to match the audio with that, let's get back to what you were talking about the mixers.
Right. We have a submixer, an effects submixer, and what his basic job is he follows. He mixes nothing but the natural sounds, the natural sound that happens at the track, and he matches. We put microphones out at certain camera positions. Now, some of the speed shots, those cameras that are on the wall, and the cars come rumbling by you, 180 miles an hour. We can't just put a microphone next to the camera. Because what will happen is the cars will go by, and then you'll hear the sound a few minutes later. Right? So what we do is we put a microphone 20 feet in front of the camera and 20 feet behind the camera. And that's what gives you that signature whoom. So you catch the car as it's coming into frame and as it's leaving frame.
Right.
Now, the car's going 190 miles an hour, so depending upon how fast they are in that position, we'll move the microphones and custom tailor it so it sounds just right. You know, he has that signature sound.
What kind of setup is involved in something like that? I mean, when you're actually setting the mics, or is it pretty much down now, you know how to do it?
I mean, we've been to the same tracks multiple times. We do some adjustments based on whether it's a restrictor plate track and the cars are running a little slower, the cars are running a little faster. If it's it's a super speedway, it's a restrictor plate track, the microphones get a little bit closer. But we have it dialed in pretty good.
Now, what about the choices that you're gonna make? For example, with the communication between the driver and the pit lane.
Right. So what happens is we've got one guy whose basic job it is to affect submix, and basically all he does is match the natural sound with the visual image you see. So as the cars come by, you'll hear that sound. As we go to an in-car and you see the guy driving, you'll get that sound. In surround, by the way, that's kind of a neat experience if you've never sat in your living room and heard that. But so that guy's job is to basically go ahead and do that. We also have another mixer separate from him, whose only job it is to basically go and pick out the driver to crew chief to spotter communications. So the driver has a crew chief and a spotter, and those guys are on a radio channel. So we have all 43 of those drivers into an audio console, and this guy's essential job is he goes through and he listens for interesting content and says, oh, something's happening with the 24 car, and he'll listen to that. Or if there's a crash and one of the cars is involved, and I'm sure if you've ever watched motorsports, you hear a crash and then you hear the driver saying things like, oh, I'm okay, or left rear damage, or things like that, or ouch, or, you know, things like that. And so you'll hear that live, but in that same room, I have a guy who records two 48-track recorders that record all 43 of those driver radios, because sometimes a problem doesn't happen right away. It happens over the course of 10 or 12 or 14 laps.
Sure.
Right? So he takes those 10 or 12 or 14 laps of dialogue, edits it down to a 12-second piece,
right,
and that's what we air.
Right.
You hear the back and forth, back and forth. It sounds like a conversation that happened in 10 seconds,
sure,
but it really happened over the course of about 10 laps.
But he's making those choices as this audio is being created, that this might be something we can use.
Right, and basically it's born out of, is there a problem, is there an issue,
right?
Is there something going wrong, or is there something going great, and we really need to highlight that.